Okay, perfect. Can you hear me and see me?
Here we go.
Yay, good.
Finally, we make it work.
Pura vida
Thank you.
technology. It's been like this all
Well,
day.
I don't know if it's pura vida technology or if it's Paulo's not good with technology.
All good. We are
Yeah,
rolling.
yeah, we are live.
Okay.
So people who have been waiting a little bit, it's okay. I'll promise to retake this video and edit that and relaunch the entire thing.
I'm
Uh,
sorry.
it's all right. It's all right. It's all right. It's amazing. I think one of the I think people is a little bit tired of this overproduced content that all of these big businesses, news and media create that is so perfect that nobody believes is even that real people. And now with
Well,
technology and with artificial intelligence and all of these things that are happening, you soon will be seeing people out there that are just complete, deep fakes. And yeah, this is
scary.
scary.
Yeah.
And one of the beauties of us being here, being real, and trying to connect with the community is that people is actually getting to see and getting to know who we are. uh, and I'm very excited about today's conversation, today's chat. We're broadcasting and sharing this in my YouTube, Facebook, also sharing this into a couple of week expert groups, including Sarah Elena's expert group,
Hi, Sarah.
which is part of this story. Yeah, say hi. It's
Yeah.
part of this amazing story.
It's like we're all coming together again. Yeah, for sure.
So it's crazy because I oftentimes spend a lot of time trying to prevent people not to just move, not to take lightly an international move, and before they move, really understand if the country they're moving into, in this case Costa Rica, is a good country to move to, and because I feel sometimes even responsible because there's a lot of content out there saying, yes, move to Costa Rica, yes, move to Panama. You can live in $1,000 a month, or you can live in $2,000 a month, your dream retirement, you can make whatever, right?
Beachfront mansion. Yeah.
So
Just like that.
there is a huge amount of content telling people that this is easy, margaritas on the beach, and Tamarindo lifestyle is what you deserve, and it's going to be easy, right? Or a lot of people, I guess, it feels that way. And of course, we have seen this content. And so I spent a lot of time kind of like saying and going into the interviews with Sarah, with Michael Allen, in different platforms. I talk sometimes at the International Living Conference, and I connect with other, which I consider expat leaders, people who create content or who are making something to teach and educate the community. And I spent time saying, be careful, because I get the calls when you guys are leaving, and things did not work out. But you are a case, or you guys, your family, Peter and you, Roxana, are a case to me of inspiration, because you guys did what you guys said that you were going to do. You guys moved to Costa Rica, and you have a really inspiring story, which we want to share. Can you just, before we said anything, just give us a bit of introduction of who you guys are as a family and how you guys end up deciding moving to Costa Rica?
Yeah, we basically just were kind of tired of the rat race. Canada was great and cold. And we had a great time raising our kids there and our family and our jobs, our corporate jobs, but we wanted a little bit more out of life. We wanted to just shake things up a little bit, take a risk, make a change, expose our children to a different culture, languages. And we met a mutual friend. She came here. We kind of started connecting more. And then we found you, we found Sarah. We just started building the research pot and really just getting inspired on how can we change our lives. We have an opportunity to do something very different. We did not want to copy and paste the 9 to 5 and the mortgage. We wanted more time with our children, and we wanted to just show them that they can make changes in their lives and learn new things, from languages to cultures and jobs. You're not limited. So we did it for them mostly. And we arrived June 2022. We immediately started doing research, like June 1st, right? We had done research in the past of what we could do here, from starting a business, purchasing a business, where we're going to buy a home, build a home. And learn Spanish. So we've definitely integrated. Yeah.
Slow down a little bit
I know. I'm so excited.
before, because I know. So no. You're gonna make me cry as well because this is so exciting to me. I just feel every time I hear a story of somebody wanting to move abroad, I want to be an expat myself. I want to, explore other countries and feel other flavors and other cultures.
Mhm.
Uh, so when I hear you making all these plans, it's like, man, that's a dream come true. Even though I'm in Costa Rica and I live in Costa Rica most of the year. Um, but I want to stop you there because you mentioning you're researching about, opening a business or buying a business. You're making changes of your entire life. You want to have something different. But I want to understand what is it that you guys did in Canada. Do you have a business background? Do you own a business before?
We have a good skill set. So the resume covers a lot. So Peter, my husband's a carpenter. He worked in a management role for a government company. So he was a very good leader. So he's methodical and analytical. I worked in education. I have a psychology background. So I worked a lot with kids and the school board. And I always loved education. That's where I kind of started seeing changes in it and what needed to get done. We manage the property of 40 units. So we have really good teamwork between each other where I'm more the visionary. He's the practical guy. So there's the to-do list. But we work well together as friends, as partners, as parents, and now as business partners. So there's a lot of skills that we thought, okay, we can do this over there. Obviously, there's challenges, but we'll get into that. But if you have a good team, business-wise and family-wise, then I think that's what's most important. And support and resources, and so grateful for all of your platforms that help expats like us make these moves and these dreams happen. And I'm a little bit like, oh, I dream a lot. I dream a lot in the clouds. So I need somebody to ground me that with support and real things that say, okay, how are we doing this? How are we making these moves and businesses and how? So, with your
Yeah,
teams and
which is amazing. If you're telling me you have never owned a business before, right? That's what I hear. Or you
no,
okay?
no, we
That's
had.
very interesting because I own businesses, right? And to me, it's something that is challenging. It's very hard for me. I have had businesses, I failed businesses before in the United States, in Costa Rica. I made bad transactions in the United States, in Costa Rica. So it's not an easy thing to do in general. I'm a dreamer as well, so I'm the idea person. I'm always creating with new things. If you if you see my portfolio or websites that I have, I probably have like five or six websites, not just for international shipping, for pet adoption site, and for the community, expat community, and for many other things, right? So I'm always
Exactly.
creating. So it's not an easy thing to do. So I have to say you guys have put yourself in a position that is really tough. And for what I can tell, a little bit more of a background. Uh, when was it that you guys ended up moving? You guys started researching on 2022, but finally you moved when?
We started researching end of 2020, all of 2021, and then we arrived, June 2022. So it was a lot. And when you're selling your house, you're quitting your job, you're selling your cars, you're literally uprooting your whole life. You want to make sure that you've crossed your T's and dotted your I's and you know what you're doing. So there was a lot that went in, but when we knew the time was right and we just felt it, and it did all align, but not exactly to plan, like not the straight road. We took the windy road.
And it's
Yeah,
going to be like that anyway. Whoever expect that to move to another country is going to be like in a straight line with 1, 2, 3 steps. That's not going to happen. You have to be ready for pivot and react and replan things if you want
right.
things to work.
I think that's super
So,
important. That's super important for people to know that it takes a lot of perseverance and dedication, ambition, courage, all of that, and just have faith that you will get to where you're supposed to. It's just not maybe
so
exactly, but it's
more context a little bit. So you guys moved your entire family. So that's kind of the first challenge I see. You're moving yourself. It's maybe just your suitcases, or you're moving your husband, yourself, your kids.
and my parents.
How, your parents. I forgot
Yeah.
about that.
Right. Yeah. So
Oh.
Um, that's another challenge, right? So we're kind of this generation that has like the up and coming, the millennials, the Generation X, and then you have the baby boomers. So again, it was a family decision and having to talk about like what would be a good place and a good time to raise a family, develop our careers, and at the age we're at, plus have a safe, comfortable place for seniors, for retired people. So this kind of checked off all the boxes, right? They're near the beach,
Wow.
my kids have education options, and we have canvases of businesses to create and support and network with. So
So
there's a lot.
this is literally what I call a 360-degree experience with your entire family, not just you and your husband, your
Mm-hmm.
kids and your parents. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
and I figured, what was the biggest challenge to me is my kids. That would be like, okay, I'm taking my kids to another country. But now
Yeah.
you're telling me also your parents. So what was the biggest challenge, and what did you guys realize when you guys got here?
It was biggest challenge is trying to please everybody, and we were the ones doing everything. So I have to exactly think of what's best for them, but what's best for them, and even picking a location. Okay, maybe this would be a better community for this demographic and age group, but this is better for us. But if we're going to start and run businesses, we need to be closer to tourist points, and language barrier as well. You're starting all over again from the beginning, and from banks and buying cars and just finding where do I find this at the grocery store? How do I get a cell phone plan? So I'm trying to learn this. I'm trying to parent, Peter and I, like, then I'm trying to take care of the elderly. So it's just been like a juggling act, because of the dynamics, and just trying to keep everybody afloat and happy, and yourself, right? You're still like shedding this identity from before, and you're rebirthing yourself here in a completely different culture and language, and you don't have that hat anymore from your job. So it's a lot of inner work. I think there's a lot that is behind the scenes that people don't see. And again, the expat life's great. Oh my gosh, you moved to the beach. Oh yeah, I get, like you said, you're sipping sangrias all day. I'm like, no, not.
Hmm.
But yeah.
Well, I see. I asked my team to ask a few questions. We'll go into those
Mhm.
questions uh, in a little bit. But
Yeah.
what I see of what you're telling me is, you guys, of what I can tell, you guys were very proactive. It
Mhm.
looks like you guys are. I mean, you are very thoughtful and proactive. Maybe because you have all of this responsibility, of course, for who you are. When you're thinking about your kids, you're thinking about your parents, you're thinking about all of these different decisions, being very intentional. And a lot of people just go through life, this is what next, and this is what happened. Now, whatever, I'm 30, I have time, it's time to get married, or this is the position I'm in my company, I get any raise, maybe I should buy a house. But you're telling me that your entire move since the beginning, you're planning, you plan your move, and then all the decisions you are very intentional, which I think is that's probably one of the reasons you guys have been successful. Now, tell me about your first venture, and I want to share that in the screen a little bit. The first thing you guys did, and I figured, and I'm just guessing, a lot of people. This is my advice: move to Costa Rica, don't buy anything, spend a year or two,
Right.
and then later,
Mhm.
maybe potentially make your money abroad, make your money in Canada. That's what my advice to people is like: just find a job online, make your money, in the US. But you guys did something like, okay, I'm going to Costa Rica and buying a business, which
Yeah.
is to me is like, wow, you're just raising the bar to like, now I'm a business owner on one of the most competitive industries there is in a beautiful tourist location. I'm gonna share this on the screen, kind of like a few pictures of the surf shack. But you tell me a little bit about that story while I'm doing this.
For sure. Yeah, we heard the same thing. Just go scout it out, rent, take it as it comes. And that might work for some people, and things can just land in your lap. But because of the kind of people we're at, and Peter especially, he's like, no, we need to have a concrete plan. So we kind of started talking, just literally businesses for sale, CostaRica.com. Just one night. Okay,
Hmm.
what options are there? Like, even they could be surf instructors and surf shops and things completely out of our element, but let's explore it at least, right? And then we
Hmm.
came across this restaurant, Surf Shack Burgers and
Hmm.
Wings. Okay, let's do a couple, like, Google research. Okay, reviews. They have a reputation. They've been established in town. Pretty good, 4.8 out of 5 star on Google, and family friendly. So I think that's that was a huge thing for us because we're very family oriented with our kids. We looked at the website, got in touch with the previous owners, and we saw that there was a playground in the back. Needed some work, TLC, but that's Pete's forte. So I'm like, okay, again, visionary, right? So we can have this established turnkey business that comes with recipes, a reputation, staff, and everything set up, and we can elevate and add to this. So we didn't come here to recreate our lives, work 9 to 5 or flip burgers in the kitchen. That was never the intention. So people are like, you bought a burger joint? Like, yeah, not like strategically. We didn't buy it because I want to make them all day or make fries, but it has potential to connect the community and beyond. So what we started doing, right, just birthday parties, kids events, Easter egg hunts, breakfast with Santa, kind of bring
I'm
something like
hungry.
and
Look
still
at
continue
this.
like the best burgers in town, which was kind of the slogan. And it's beach, you have the beach views, but you don't have the beachfront prices. So we've maintained a good balance of surf vibe, cool, like up and coming, modern, good food, good prices. And then you have your bar area with your view. You have your, internal TVs for everyone who wants to watch sports. And then you have your backyard that we fenced in for the kids. So let them play. There's an abundance of kids' toys. You can sit down. We also have a lot of great promotions, like kids eat free on Mondays, $1 wing Wednesdays. And I mean, for people who know Tamarindo prices, you'd be appreciative of something a little bit more modest for families. We have our people
And
here. Yeah.
and we did this event like three times at the beginning of this year when we get
Hmm.
people together. So that's amazing. I mean, it's an amazing business opportunity that you guys were able to take and make work. But what it wasn't the real plan. What I'm understanding is, I mean, you are not a chef,
No,
burger or restaurant owner
no.
for a trade, right? So what was the big plan?
So the big plan was to kind of continue the vision that we started in Canada. So with our kids being our main priority and just having a real passion for education, we started an alternative, holistic Montessori style learning center in Canada with a few business partners. And the idea was always to come here because we see the niche for it. There's a lot of schools, but there's more people moving, and that, right? And these aren't Tamarindo and surrounding. I would say actually the Guanacaste area they're very tourism heavy, but now because of so many families like us that we've met with children and
Hmm.
have done similar moves, uprooting, moving, they're like, okay, well, we need more kids activities. We need more education programs. Like one size doesn't fit all. So we kind of started seeing that, and then it sparked it back. We're like, okay, so let's bring that here again. Let's get ourselves financially set with a business so that we have some income to sustain a living here, and then get start investing those profits into something community oriented for children. The plan, idea number whatever. But again, we kind of had the roots already set, and the idea and the goal was always to bring it here. So that's what we're in the process of now.
Wow,
We're
that's
busy.
amazing. So
We're pretty busy.
yeah, I bet, and I want to share a little bit about this on the screen.
Hmm.
So what is the name of this project?
Okay, so we have our new project. It's called the Guanacaste Children's Community Center. So this is like an educational hub. We didn't want to label it just as a school because it's not like your classic school. It's like an NGO, like a organization with founders and community members that are all working together to offer affordable education for kids, after school activities, recreation, swimming, tutoring classes. We also do birthday parties and events, and we're just trying to bridge that gap between the expats private schools and then the really low public schools. We just want to be able to offer education programs for kids that maybe don't have the financial means, right? There is a big economic gap in third world
Hmm.
countries, and we
Oh,
don't want kids not to have access to that. So we have some
um,
preschool programs, Montessori style, more more growing.
Well, I'm not an expert in education. I have kids. My kids go
Mhm.
to a private school. It's not a super expensive one, but in general, I mean, the average Costa Rica is not able to afford this type of education.
No,
Um, it's not gonna happen now. I mean, I don't wanna like the range is like starting all the way from $500 all the way to $2,000 for one kid.
absolutely,
For what I've
absolutely.
seen, right?
Yeah.
Uh, So, have you found this to be a challenge, or is this the issue you guys are trying to fix?
Exactly. So we see, even for us, for expats, the private schools are very expensive and they're very English based. And I mean,
Mm,
personally, we moved here to offer our children an opportunity to learn Costa Rican culture, language, tradition, values, Spanish. So we don't want to keep them in the same system that you would find in North America. We'd want them more exposed to nature and really embracing the beauty of this country. And I don't think price should limit that. So public schools we've toured, and they're just not reliable. They have staffing issues. They're very minimalist, and I think we need something in between. So with this not being a business, this is more of a collaboration. We have a great team that we're working with, our Canadian
mm.
team members that helped with the other project in Canada, and now we're starting it again here. So we're planting the seeds here for this to blossom and grow and continue to grow. So we want this to be like an international thing where everybody should have like a community center that and children that can have access to these programs. So through
I
foundations,
love it.
charities, donations, subsidies, and sponsorships, just to open up that
Yeah,
opportunity and bridge the gap between the socioeconomic statuses.
yeah, and this is, I mean, what you're tackling here a big challenge because
Mhm.
having a place where people can get to, having people who are willing to spend their time to teach their kids, all of that costs money. Um, I mean, it's an entire project. So how you guys funding this? Is it private? Some of it is the parents. Some of it is through donations.
So it's a donation based, like sliding scale. We don't want to say no to anybody if their child wants to come to a STEM class because they naturally have a an interest in engineering and they want to learn more, but they can only contribute X amount. And that money, goes to pay for the facilitators that are here offering their services. A lot of it is volunteer based. We've donated a lot of stuff, our kids' stuff and toys. And then the vision behind it is there are charities and foundations that we're working with from North America
Hmm.
that are supporting this cause. And the idea is to franchise, like I said, these communities so that
Hmm.
all children have access to these programs, and parents don't have to feel that financial burden of tuitions and registration matriculation fees, but rather just know that they have an open door policy. Our child can come and integrate. It's bilingual. We have some local tikas that help out, and we just want to just grow it. And that's where it comes from. It comes from like an intentional passion, and that's what we love. It's not, we have the financial businesses and other models, but this is community driven and really like love oriented.
Love it. I
Yeah.
mean, it's community is my thing. I'm trying to
Mhm.
build community everywhere I go. I feel community brings. I I'll say it's just we working together we can get a lot more done. It's just there is a lot of things to. It's impossible for me to open a school. I won't be able to ever open a school. But if I get together with a group of people who we have the same intentions, we are able to put something together. That you guys are a great example. It's the same thing with the expat community. The thing I'm trying to put together the expat community and having a book, a guide for people to go and read and learn about Costa Rica. Uh, if it's a community and everybody helps a little bit, it's easier. If not, it's just really challenging. So uh, nobody could get to a place of significance alone.
No.
And having a community, it's amazing. I always thought whenever I'm thinking about helping, about thinking about doing something for my community, uh, sometimes I go, well, there's people out there they have no food. Maybe I can get together and feed some people, give
Mhm.
food for some people, or maybe shelter, or maybe there is people out there with drug issues. Maybe we can do something about it. Uh, and out of all of the different things that somebody could do, I came to a realization of helping kids and helping kids learn soft skills, which this is my thing. Soft skills is something that could really impact and change the future of a kid, because a kid with this emotional intelligence, and a kid with this ability to communicate, to work together, to be a leader, even if he doesn't get to university, master's degree or whatever, is gonna get things in life. You're gonna connect with other people and work together. So it's one of the things I have in my heart, and I said this to my friends. If I'm doing something, whenever I'm focusing on wanting to help, I think kids is an amazing, helping the kids is an amazing thing to do, because sometimes when you help in any other area, you might want to help in any other area. I feel it sometimes it's too late, but when you're helping the kids, you're helping the future. So the next generation, at least a percentage of that generation, is able to get us or take us to a better place.
Exactly. And they're the foundation. And I mean, like, why we're here, and we see so many up, and there's a lot of children here. It's great. It's amazing. But yeah, they just need a little bit of guidance. Like, we do a lot of life skills with them: cooking, cleaning, baking. We're doing woodworking, gardening, just things that you would find outside of school, traditional school, but you can still, you follow their lead. You see what sparks magic in them, and how can we help support that, right? So we're just kind of guiding them, right? Like over here, and the Spanish and the English, and it's beautiful. So but again, like you said, the team, if there's no teamwork, it's not happening. So we literally have like amazing people, like, we're more like community ambassadors here on the ground. Like, I'm the director of community engagement and franchise operations, and we have teams that are like doing the back end tech, marketing, promotion. So if it wasn't for collaboration, then none of it would work. So which we see everywhere, right?
One question, so the community, it's aware of what is it that the community, or someone who may be listening, what is it that what can they do? If they can do anything, what would be the thing you say, well, maybe you can help through this, in this or that way, or whatever way,
Through this
they can reach
organization?
out. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. For sure. Reach out to us, follow along. Like, we're at the very beginning of the journey, but the goal is every day we're adding new features and growing the program. Just follow the accounts. If there's any donations, you don't need anymore. Your kids have outgrown stuff, and books they don't no longer use, or toys. Not only do we use them here, but we also donate them to local schools. So we're actually working with some feeding centers as well, and getting some community events going that we can share proceeds, and kind of do some renovations, anything like that. Spread the word, right? Come visit. How about that?
It's
grab some
it's
burgers
good. I mean,
and come check out the center, right?
next event you need help, just let us know, and we can push. We can have the community just create awareness. We have this event, we have whatever barbecue, we have
Yeah.
this non-profit date or whatever, and this is a way people could help. There's essentially many ways. Maybe donation of books, toys. So that's amazing. Now we have a few questions from some of my team at International Relocation Partner. This is Merlin. I don't know if you know Merlin. He's my dad.
Okay. Maybe, I'm sure we've seen him. And Tama. Okay, let's see. How have we been able to do with so-called Horatica? Oh, fun. Yes.
Let me rephrase that question so that people can hear it.
Yeah.
Basically, we're curious. Costa Rica, we have something that maybe not just Costa Rica, in Latin America, we have something that says the Horatica or Pura Vida or Relax. Especially you making these projects, you owning a restaurant, having employees, setting up this community center and relying on people, and some of them are donating their time. So how were you able to deal with people being late or cultural challenges like this?
So when we first got here, it's like culture shock, like sticker shock, how you would have with finances. But we'd call like, oh, the AC is leaking. Yeah, I'll be there in an hour. Mañana. And mañana not only means tomorrow, but morning. So when we have mañana en la mañana and it ends up being 3 days later, you learn to deal with no AC. So anyway, it's definitely a thing. And getting mad about it isn't going to get you anywhere. So we've just, you can't bring, like, again, very specific to the North American mentality here with like the aggression and the ramminess and like expectations to everything to be to your standards and punctuality. It does not exist here. I'm actually falling into that a little bit. I'm like, yeah, I'll be there in a bit. If you can't beat them, join them, right? So I think you just have to change your perception of how you're reacting to it, right? Just if you're expecting a trades or a vendor, for us, we have gas technicians that come to service the equipment at the restaurant, and they'll say they'll be there on Monday. Okay, well, you know what? I'm not going to hold my breath that they're going to be there on Monday. So when you just lower that expectation, and then if they do show up on the Monday, you're extra excited because they're actually there. Timelines, yeah, very few and far between. I mean, I find that too. I'll have I was a very like A-type personality back before, and now I'm just go with the flow. I'll like have a to-do list, and this is what I have goals to get done today. But I mean, I can go to the bank, and the ATMs just won't work, and you're just, oh well, I guess I can't do any of that today. Again, waiting for somebody to show up, and I'm more like, let me know when you're there, so then I'll come, rather than me wasting my entire day waiting. So we kind of learn how to change it a little bit.
You create a little strategy sometimes. You create a little way of dealing with it. That's one way. Okay, let me know when you're there so I can go.
Yes.
So you don't waste your like 10-minute drive and then just to wait for somebody in your car.
Right.
That's one way. And it's not just Costa Rica, by the way. So we just want to, say that aloud. It could be the entire Latin America, could be like this. And I'll say you learn how to deal with the culture in different ways. Spent a bunch of time in Panama as well, Costa Rica, Panama. And a lot of people will complain. This is just an example. A lot of people will complain for the customer service. So you go into any store or restaurant, and nobody will look at you. They will be just doing whatever, busy, and maybe on their cell phone. Which Costa Rica is not as, because it's way better than that. In Costa Rica in general, the culture of service is better. But I learned I created a technique. So having the emotional intelligence of creating yourself a way to go around that. So I would remember saying hi 3 times, and that was my technique. So I walk into a store or whatever place, I open the door, I go like, literally, hey, like making myself, I'm here, right? Hey, maybe somebody look at me, and then I go like, how are you? Second
pay
time.
Attention.
Then I get close. Nice day in it. Or, man, this rain. Maybe they even complaining about the rain, but that's like 1, 2, 3. And I remember practicing myself. I go to the gas station and then, saying hi 3 times. And by the second or the third time, and this is Panama, right? It's every country is a little bit different, but by the third time, you get a smile. You get, you're not from here. You're not from here. Oh, you're from Costa Rica, and they come up with a little joke or something. So it's like figuring out what is the best approach depending on what you need. If you own a business, it's a different thing.
Yeah,
I would say setting expectations properly and setting motivation properly. It's key. If you are late, maybe you get a penalty. If you're early, maybe you get a bonus. Things like that could help. Maybe being a leader. It's just it's tough anyway.
It is tough. I think too, having backup plans, so like you're not relying just on that one person that says he'll be there at a certain time, and don't wait until the last minute, because it's not going to happen. So I feel like if you just put the organization behind it a little bit, put a little bit more, set yourself up so when things like that happen, you're not screwed.
Yeah, I remember one day, kind of funny story about it. I needed to have something done like in 24 hours.
Oh
And I
yeah.
asked, and this is in Nicaragua, in Rivas, Nicaragua. So I was driving in Rivas, Nicaragua. I had an accident, and I needed to get the vehicle fixed, painted, ready to go in 24 hours. So I approached somebody who's got a mechanic shop, and I said to him, "How much is this?" I don't remember the numbers, but let's say it's $200 to get that fixed. And I said, "I give you $300 if you are able to get it done in overnight."
Right.
And the guy goes like, "Heck yeah!"
Right. That's great. That's
Anyway,
you save
11.
that contact. Share
So
that with
if
me.
I'm 11, if I come here and 11 a.m. next day it's ready, I give you an additional $100. So
Yeah.
it worked.
You make it work. You make it work. I mean, some people are great, but I feel like the reaction is more something you can control than their promises. That's all it is. So set it up. Don't freak out. Don't yell and scream. You can call them all you want. They don't care. They're probably like, when they say they're on their way, they like just woke up.
Yeah.
So,
They're not even on their way.
no.
But
Oh, well.
yeah, it's a big challenge. Another question from Laura. What was the biggest surprise?
That there's like a 20-year gap in terms of development.
Interesting.
Yeah, I would say like even moving to Tamarindo or like surrounding, I mean, that's a huge tourist location. So I'm expecting sidewalks, asphalt, traffic lights, stop, like just familiar things. I'm like, okay, yeah, they're up and coming. It's a tourist town. I'm sure they have that. And then, moving here and there's still like really, there's a lot to build. There's a lot still to create. It's still very raw and undeveloped. So we always say it's like such a big blank canvas that you can paint on, right? And that's where you get the inspiration. Ontario is a little bit maxed out. I mean, I feel like Canada in general, that ship has sailed per se for starting fun projects for us. But here we're like, oh, okay, there's so many opportunities, but you do have to like scale back your expectations because it's not as developed. So yeah, whenever you're working with businesses and you have to check like the land and the terrain and with the rain and it's not done yet. There's a lot of work that still needs to get done to bring it up to Ontario level, but that's okay. We don't want it.
Of course, it's definitely underdeveloped for such a touristy area because Tamarindo is one of the hottest touristy spots. There is about everything you could possibly do. You can do all kind of touristy things. You have the ocean. You have all kinds of restaurants of all kinds of flavors, and people from all over the world get to Tamarindo. But there's still roads without without
nothing,
not finished road. Yeah, there's still a lot of things to develop. There is not. I don't think there is a full hospital real close, a full size hospital, maybe mid-sized clinics, things like that.
Right.
So it's a lot of.
And I think I expected that from more like Dominica, Luvita, like less developed places. But thinking you're moving, okay, right off the beach. And I mean, even 2 years later, they just put some asphalt down.
Wow. One last question from Marian Canales. So what excites you?
It's like both, right? What excites and worries you? So
what excites and worries you, especially with children's?
Well, you think you wonder, like, if they're happy, like, did we make the right decision, right? You see that they've left their familiar behind and they have to learn a new language and they don't have they're 7 and 9 now. So
okay, they're little.
They would have been 5 and 7, but the worry, I guess, from like my husband Peter comes a lot with like, are they going to be okay? Like we've stripped them from their familiar, their house, their schools and everything from before. And we just kind of threw them all here and okay, start over. But I guess that kind of worried him, but then I reassured it that I actually had the same experience. Like we moved from Romania to Canada when I was the same age, 6, and I had no choice but to learn a new language. And I got put into a completely new environment and I was fine. Like, that I think that's what makes me confident that that's actually going to build their character. They're going to learn another language. They're going to have another passport. They can travel. They can see how they can be entrepreneurs or just explore different options. And I feel like if you just stay tight as a family unit, you lead by example. They see everything we do. We spend a lot of time together, and it kind of, you get excited. You don't want to get worried. You're like, I'm doing a good job as a parent, and they see that, and they're running around at the beach happy as can be, right? Like, and we ask them, are you like it here? Of course, mommy. Like, yeah, it's not cold anymore.
That's good. That's good. Yeah,
Yes.
I guess being a parent is tough. You're always wondering the same things. You make this
Mhm.
huge, big decision of moving to another country. But we, as a parents, I have to as well. We're always thinking, am I making the right decision when I'm picking this school, or when I'm moving them into this other neighborhood? So even across the street or across town, making the move, you're thinking about your kids. So
Always.
it's completely understandable. Thank
Forever.
you so much, Roxana. This
Thank
has
you,
been an
problem.
amazing conversation.
Yes.
We'll make sure to share this in our groups and in our platforms, make little clips about it. That's amazing. I promise we'll be visiting Tamarindo and community, uh, the children community of Guanacaste, right? The
Of course.
children's
Yeah.
community
Come
of
by.
Guanacaste very soon. Of course,
Yes. We would
100%.
love that. Wonderful. So we'll keep you posted on all the new exciting things. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Ciao. Bye bye.
Bye.